standard deviation. In all honesty, these equations probably look scary. They're not that bad. X bar we know stands for what? The mean, the average. X is just going to be every number that's in our data set. So like if I had 16, 8, 19, those would each be my X. Okay? Squared, you know what that does? Does anybody know what this crazy E thing is? Yeah. It stands for the sum. Okay? So all this is saying is you're going to subtract your values from your mean, square it, add them all up, divide by n stands for the number of data values that we have. Okay? The formula might be useful to you, but I think it's just easier to remember step by step what happens. But that is the formula. Our standard deviation is our O squiggly. The standard deviation squared is what we call variance. So when it asks for the variance, you use this formula. Follow the steps we're going to do. The difference between variance and standard deviation is just the square root of our variance. So when we do these steps to find standard deviation, we always find variance first and then square root variance to get standard deviation. So it's not like you're calculating two different things. One's just like one more step. Okay? All right. So we're going to jump into it. Hopefully you have a calculator. If not, come grab one. And start off finding the mean of 100, 158, 170, and 192. Somebody remind me how we do that? Add them up, divide by 4 by the number there are. I feel like super brain here is just me. 155. 155. Everybody get that? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So we're good on mean. Okay. Mean 155. Okay, this chart that is on the bottom of your page, I would write that every time. What happens is we're going to make columns, and columns make everything easier. In our first column, we're going to label it X. So those are just the data values that I have. Okay? The first one I have is 100. Then I have 158, 170, and 192. So these are just the values that are in our data set, what you just used to find the mean. Okay? Second step. All we do is take each X value and subtract it from the mean we found. Okay? So our X bar, if you want to write it next to it, is 155. So if I take 100 minus 155, what do I get? Negative how much? 55. Did you say 145?
I wanted 10.
Okay, what about 158 minus 155? 3. 170 minus 155? 15. And the last one, 192? 37. Okay. Are we okay through there? Okay. The next column, all we're going to do is square the value of the previous column. Okay, so take this column and square it. Okay, so this column right here should always be positive. So when we take a negative, square it, we get a positive. Okay, so negative 55 squared is a big number. 3,025. 3 squared, 15 squared, 225, And 37 squared. 1368. Okay. We don't know where those numbers came from.
Yeah.
All we do is take this number, and to get this number, all you do is square it. So multiply it by itself.
Okay.
So 3 squared, 9, 15 squared, 225. Good? Okay. Next step. Add this column together, all these numbers. Four, 6, 2, 8. Okay, good there. Divide by how many numbers there are, just like we did our mean. How many numbers are there? 4. 1157. Okay, this number is our variance. So sigma squared. Okay. How would I find the standard deviation? Square root it. So what is the square root of 1157? Give me 2 decimals.
Do we write that in the last column, or are we writing something else?
You can use the last column. I write it below because that's how I add. If you want to use the last column, I don't.
So we really
3. Yeah. What'd you say it was, Amanda? 34. Okay. This is our standard deviation. Okay. Find your mean. Subtract each value from your mean. Square it. Add them together. Divide by how many there are. So this is just the average of our squared values, okay? This number is just the average. When you square root it, you get standard deviation. Okay? Kind of, sort of? Okay, next one. First thing I do is find the mean. I got 6.9, 8.7, 7.6, 4.8, and 9. What is my mean? What is it?
7.4.
7.4. Oh, you gotta divide. Okay, set up our chart. First thing I have is my x's. Copy them down. Doesn't matter at all what your order is. Next thing I do, subtract each value from my mean. So take each value and subtract it, and subtract 7.4. Okay, you work on those values. So, yeah, easy book assignment. $7.37. 7 through 10. 20 through 24. 26. And 27. The notes are online if you want to watch it too.
Okay, and then I'm not going to be here tomorrow either.
Okay, tomorrow reviewing. So make sure to get review stuff.
Okay.
Okay, thanks, man.
Thank you.
Okay. Negative 0.5, 1.3, 0.2, negative 2.6, and 1.6. Yes? Okay. What did I do after that? Square them. So square my last column. Negative 0.5 squared. 0.25. 1.3 squared. 1.69. 0.2 squared. How about 0.04?
Oh, I have it. Wait, just a minute.
Negative 2.6 squared. 6.76 and 1.6 squared.
2.56.
Questions through there? Okay, next step, add that last column all together. $11.3. We all getting that? Okay, what's next? Divided by the number of data. Just like, yeah, so find the average of this. Add them up. Divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Allison says we get 2.6. How about 2.26?
Yeah, it's
2.6. Okay, this number is called what? My variance. So this is sigma squared. How do I find sigma? Square root it. And the square root of 2.6 is 1.5. You did it in your head? Is that what you just said? No way.
Yeah.
Okay. Any questions? No? Okay, we got one more example. A family buys groceries weekly. Over 4 weeks, their grocery costs are $72.42, $91.50, $58.99, and $69.02. That's kind of cheap groceries. First thing, it says within how many standard deviations of the mean do all costs fall, so we gotta calculate standard deviation. I know. First thing I do to calculate standard deviation is find what? Find my mean. Okay, then you got a mean? 72.98. You can divide, do you get 72.98? Okay. So our mean is 72.98. Next step is, make my chart, my X first. So I got 72.42, 91.50, 58.99, and 69.02. Then you said subtract from my mean out the column for me? First one's negative what? 0.56. Second one. 1852. Third.
13.99.
Yep. And last one, negative 3.91. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yeah, 0.96.
Negative 3.96.
Yeah.
Did I scrap the last one? I got it. So that should be 3.96. Okay, thank you. Okay, next step. What do? Square them. Take my value, square it. Crystal, you have values for me?
Yes.
Okay, can you read them off?
0.31. 344.47.
I got 342.99.
Wait. Sorry.
Yeah?
Yes. Sorry. Hey,
No,
when I
you're
do
fine.
that.
You're fine.
195.72.
Perfect. And last one.
15.68.
What do I do with those four numbers? Add them. Mike, you got a total for me? No. John, you have a total for me?
Oh, no.
Who's got a total? 554 point what?
7.
Just 70, right? Yeah. 70. Yeah. Okay, I was just wondering what the next number was. Okay. Am I done?
No.
What I have to do? Divide by the number of data there are, which is 4.
$138.
138.68. That is the variance. I want standard deviation. What do? Square root it. And my standard deviation is 11.78. Okay. I want to know, the question asks, within how many standard deviations of the mean do all the costs fall? Well, that's back to what we did yesterday. Our little line diagrams. Okay. So in the middle, I have my x bar, which is 72.98. How do I figure out what goes on each side of it? Yeah. You're using your standard deviation. Add to get the high one, subtract to get the low one. Anybody got those values? I1 is 84.76, 61.2. Let's do one more. One more high, one more low.
49.42.
Did you say 49.42? And the high one? 96.54. Okay. Good there.
Is that a 9-2 or 4-2 at the end of 49?
That is a 4-2, 49.42. Okay. I want to know where they all fall. So place your 4 data sets in between your lines. 7242 falls right here. 9150 falls here. 5899 is the first one. And 6902 is one of my middle ones. Okay, so within how many standard deviations do all of my values fall? Within 2 standard deviations. All that to write a silly little 2. How many costs fall within 1 standard deviation?
2.
2. And within how many standard deviations will mean would a cost of 102 fall?
3.
Within 3. If I took 96.5 and added another 11, I would get more than 102. Okay.
Where did they come
If I took my last one and made another one, like another bar, so if I added 11.78 to it, would 96 and 11 make more than 102? Yeah, so 102 would be in between those 2 values. Okay. Other questions? How we feel? Not too bad?